Hi there, and welcome to Today I Learned About, the show where we've been eating paint chips and they're great. It's the Victorian-era, the late 19th century. England is at the height of its power. These were good times. Really good times. Especially if you were a kid. Never has there been so many job opportunities just for children. Hey kids, do you like working 14 to 15 hours a day for less than peanuts? Do you hate when adults say it's for your own safety? So lame, right?
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, our factories and mines, safety isn't even a thing. Who knows what these chemicals will do to your lungs long term? We sure don't. But breathe easy knowing somebody's benefiting from your labor. Now get your tiny little body in that tight space and unjam this machine so we can get back to making money. Yay, capitalism! Kids as young as 4 years old took to the workforce. And when kids work long ass days, they don't get to go to school, so they get stuck in a cycle of factory jobs for the rest of their lives. However short that may be. Throughout history, the rule of thumb is as technology improves, more people tend to survive and live longer lives. It's just how things have always kind of worked. Well, as you can see, things got a little bit worse in the back half of the 18th century, especially for children. Luckily, memento mori was all the rage. Ever heard of it? Let me explain. Kid dies. Oops. Oh well, dress them up, head to Walmart, and do one last final photo shoot. That's right, take your dead kid, prop it up, and take pictures. Don't worry, this isn't creepy at all. It's a nice way to remember the death of a loved one, at the same time traumatize all the remaining children. You know, scare them into not dying. In these photos, you can tell which one is the dead person. Because the cameras had such long exposure times, the non-blurry person in the photos is the dead one, because they were the only ones who could hold perfectly still for the whole photo. Might have waited a bit too long on this one. When are we going to get Annabelle's photo done? It's been almost 2 weeks. Meh, what's the rush? She ain't going anywhere. Why wait till your kid turns to the ripe old age of 4 before exposing him to new and deadly contraptions at the industrial age? A Victorian home. Beautiful, eloquent, and deadly. What was the best way to spruce up your swanky new home? Well, a coat of paint, of course. Lead paint, that is. Lead-based paint is the best way to preserve wood, so for years it was used on everything from furniture to toys. And guess who likes sticking things in their mouths? That's right, babies. Babies got lead poisoning from putting wood toys in their mouths, swallowing little wooden trinkets, and eating those ever-delicious paint chips. That's right, paint chips have a sweet taste to them. So that only encouraged these little lead tards to gobble up as much toxic paint as they can get their little hands on. Side effects from lead poisoning can be quite severe to the nervous system. It can cause brain damage, stunt growth, lowers IQ significantly, and in high quantities, death. Do you know what else babies like to stick in their mouths? Boobs. However, attitudes towards breastfeeding during this time period tended to lean more towards outsourcing the job. The rich would have big-boned women be a wet nurse, somebody who could whip out a big juicy meal anytime the kid was hungry.
Welcome to the future.
Hello, rubber nipples. Get out of here, big boobs. You're obsolete. Nobody liked you anyways. Feeding babies by the bottle is the latest thing, known as rearing by hand. New technology. New futuristic babies. New marketing from bottle companies. This put pressure on mothers to abandon breastfeeding for the more modern approach, and babies never looked happier. In fact, everyone's happier, even the bacteria. The rubber nipples and the cork stoppers were very porous. This allowed bacteria to collect in the tiny little pores and multiply like crazy. This is bad for 2 reasons. First off, milk at the time wasn't pasteurized, meaning whatever bacteria that dirty old cow had would also be in the milk. Second, when milk goes bad, it goes really bad. That horrible smell is bacteria. I remember as a kid spilling some milk into my school bag. Being the filthy little turd I was, I just left the spill in my bag for a few days. I still remember that sour, rancid smell of rotting milk. It smelled like feet that had been sweating inside hollow blocks of cheese for the last few days and then were covered in vinegar. Then, a homeless guy who had been eating out of the dumpster for the last decade came and vomited all over those feet. So I'm guessing that's what the inside of these nipples and bottles smelled like. It was suggested by authorities that these nipples should be left on for 2 or 3 weeks without cleaning. Only the outside would get a quick wipe off. So the dirtiest and most diseased objects you can imagine were put in the mouths of these babies, resulting in all kinds of bacterial infections. Antibiotics had not been discovered yet, so only something like 2 out of 10 babies would survive the bacterial infections. Babies were dropping like flies. These bottles earned the nickname murder bottles. Boy, they sure were stupid back then. Not like us using science and reasoning to live healthy, happier lives in harmony with the planet. making sure that we don't overpollute, eating healthy, treating people with equality, listening to science. Oh wait, we're still not doing that great. I guess people are just fucking stupid. Every time you click that like button, another dead Victorian baby gets its wings. So long and stay frosty.